how does water affect weather and climate? Firstly, the main question is, what is the difference between weather and climate? Climate changes are changes in a long-term average of daily weather. Also, climate is the average weather over time and space. The other side is obviously weather. Weather is the way the atmosphere is behaving, and it consists of short-term changes in the atmosphere. Also, weather can change from minutes to days. Here is a picture of the water cycle. The first stage is water evaporating from the oceans, lakes, and streams. Next, the water changes into condensation, which is known as clouds. Later, depending on the temperature, the water will turn into rain if the weather is above 0 degrees, or snow, which is below 0 degrees. Here is a diagram showing climate change and the water cycle. With climate change, the water cycle is expected to go with significant changes. In a warmer climate, it causes more water to evaporate from the land and also seas, lakes, and oceans. By saying this, some specific parts of the world may have droughts. Droughts can have health, social, and economic impacts with long consequences. Also, a human cannot survive with fresh water for no more than 2 to 3 days. Some other impacts are higher temperatures, more droughts, more wildfires, warmer oceans, rise of sea level, and stronger storms. What are the forces that affect the water cycle? One of the main forces is ocean currents. What are ocean currents? Well, ocean currents are a continuous flow of water in a particular direction. How do ocean currents work? Firstly, the sun warms up parts of the ocean, and according to this, warm water rises. As the warmer ocean waters begin to rise in a particular area, cooler ocean waters from a different direction will move in to replace the warmer ocean waters, and this is how ocean currents happen. Ocean currents basically transport warm water and precipitation from the equator toward the poles, and cold water from the poles back around to the tropical areas. Without ocean currents, our regional temperatures would be much more extreme, meaning that places near the equator would stay super hot and places near the poles would stay much more frigid. By saying this, the Earth's land would be much more inhabitable. Another force to do with the water cycle are jet streams. A jet stream is a stream of air that is moving faster than the surrounding air. The height is generally 5 to 7 miles above the surface of the Earth. It can run from 1,000 to 3,000 miles long. There are 2 types of jet streams. One is the polar jet stream, and 2 is a subtropical jet stream. The cold air generally stays to the north of the jet stream, and the warmer air is generally to the south of the jet stream. Low pressure areas give rain. As the cold front comes, the rain will turn into snow, depending on the temperatures, especially in the winter months. When the area of low pressure is cut off from the jet stream, that area and weather will sit in the low pressure area. That is when the high pressure builds into the jet stream or near it, causing no rain or snow. For some people, there may be a problem or a benefit to do with weather or climate. This problem or benefit is called El Nino. El Nino happens every few years in the Pacific Ocean around the equator. It can affect weather across the world. By saying this, El Nino may help places with droughts or floods. With El Nino, there are fewer storms across the east in the winter season. You will get warmer than normal temperatures colliding with cold air, which can cause bigger storms. For example, there may be storms like ice storms, hailstorms, big snow or blizzard storms. In the west, there will be warmer than normal temperatures, which is great for areas such as BC or the prairies. In conclusion, the water that us humans used and are still using has a big impact on the water cycle, weather, and climate. I know this because we learned about the differences between weather and climate, we looked at the basic water cycle diagram and learned how it works. We heard about the dangers of climate change and what it can do because of the water cycle, and we studied forces that affects the water cycle, which is important because the weather and climate can change because of these things. In the end, I believe that we should know what is happening around us, and we should know why climate changes because of water. If no one did know how the climate and weather changed, the weather and climate networks would not be accurate with their results. After all, the sun does generate the sea or ocean currents, and it is the main power source for the water cycle. Without the sun, we would obviously not be here.